for everybody. All right. So as Giggs just said to everybody, we are off to a flying start. We had a really strong first day. We followed that up with some really nice performances from day two. So before we dive into our speaker for the day, and I am personally very excited about this, we are going to we're going to recognize the top people over 2,000 for the day. Now, under most circumstances, 2,000 a day, that's a pace for more than 60 grand for the month. We're talking about only half that gets you the 30K club ring. So if you hear your name, you should be particularly proud. And even if it's not your name being called out, you should be super excited for the people you hear called off on this list. In fourth place yesterday with $2,043, Ashley Brocious. Outstanding work for Ashley. $2,736 for Marilyn Peralta. $3,396 for Charlie Nikovsky, and leading all scorers yesterday with $3,538 in one day. One day. Enoch Namin. So congratulations to you, Enoch, for leading the way yesterday. And I know that we want to get rolling with our speaker so everybody else can dive into the phones and get their presentations going. I just wanted to point out two things, and Giggs, if you have anything to add as far as the introduction goes. So the reason that we've asked Jared Guglielmino to speak today is because he has done two basic things that I know many, many people would aspire to. Number one, he was part of the first class of the 30K club. This was a challenge that we laid out to everybody. Jared answered the call, and he went at this hard in October and busted through 30K. But the reason we put him first in the lineup is because not only did he bust through 30K, but he busted through 40K, and he busted through 50K. And Jared Guglielmino set the single month record for this agency in October. So we're talking about just a few short months ago. So I want to hear from a guy who can help raise my lid up, who can help raise my expectations and my thinking up. And all I hope for every one of you today as we bring in Jared is that you guys have an open mind, that you jot down some notes, and that you implement the things you hear so you can get the results that you're looking for. So Giggs, I don't know if you want to add anything to that before we bring Jared in.
Nothing at all. I am excited
right,
like you are to hear from Jared this morning. Jared, we are all yours. Let's welcome Jared as our guest speaker today, guys, even though he's one of ours. Let's welcome him as our guest speaker today. Love you, Jared. Let's get it, baby.
Love you too, Giggs. All right, guys. So, it's always a pleasure to be able to speak to this agency. It's always an honor. I'm pretty fired up. I got 4 things I want to talk about, so I'm just going to go ahead and dive right into it. So the 4 things I'm going to cover is going to be a goal. That's the first and foremost thing we're going to talk about is a goal. We're going to have a plan. We're going to have a belief in the aforementioned, and then we're going to have an execution. All right, we're going to execute that plan to hit that goal. So the first thing, that I'm going to talk about is obviously the goal, right? How many times have we heard this day in, day out? I'll be the first one to admit it. I wasn't a firm believer in writing goals down. I thought if I could just think it up here, I could see it in here. It's a goal. It ain't real till you write it down. So make sure you know what you're going after, guys, well ahead of time. If you don't know already, you better figure it out real quick and write it down. Keep it in front of you at all times. Okay, big, bold letters. Put it on your laptop, put it on your wall, put it on your desk, anywhere where you're going to see it. Background on your phone. Constantly remind yourself of it. Okay, this goal, I relate it, and a lot of life and a lot of stuff in this business I relate to baseball because I played baseball growing up. So baseball, like Simon mentioned this the first day that he spoke, baseball is a failure business. So is this business. I understood that in order for me to be successful in baseball, I was going to fail about 70% of the time. Once I accepted that inevitable failure that's going to happen, that's when I started to see separation occur on the field. It's the same exact thing in this business, guys. You're going to fail more times than you succeed. So the quicker you can come to the realization that that's truth, that's fact, and you can disconnect that emotion from the numbers that you need to work. Like I said it before, I'll say it again. The quicker you can remove the emotion from the numbers you need to hit, the more successful you're going to be, the quicker it's going to happen too. Okay, so our closing ratio is actually better than Hall of Fame numbers to get into baseball. It's 33%. Baseball is actually only 30%, 3 out of 10, right? So what are you chasing? What is your goal? Is it 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 50,000, 100,000? Make sure you write it down, guys. Constantly review it. once you know your goal, you have to do the math. Okay, so like I know my numbers, but do you know how many calls it takes you to set an appointment? Do you know what your show ratio is? Do you know what your close ratio is? Do you know what your call to contact is? How many referrals you're getting in presentation? Guys, you have to know your numbers so you can map out a plan to hit this goal, right? If you don't know what you're going after, you're never going to hit it. If you don't know how to do it, how do you expect to hit it? Okay, so I know, for example, like for my numbers, I need 335 appointments over the course of this month. All right. I need 104 presentations over the course of this month. I need 41 sales at 1,100 a pop to total 45,100 ALP. And if you go into the March Madness goals, you'll see that's my goal. My goal is 40,000, but I'm accounting for the inevitable fall off because there are failures. So accept them. Okay. So my goal is 45,100, but I know exactly what I have to do each week. Okay. It's 78 appointments a week. It's 26 presentations a week. It's 78 referrals a week. It's 10 to 11 sales a week. Over the course of 4 weeks, I'll be able to hit my goal. Okay. Yeah. So review your goal daily too. After each day, after each week, make adjustments. Okay. Know what it is that you've done that day and know where you need to improve upon the coming day. So once you have your goal lined up, it's clear. Now you got to, develop a plan. So the first thing in the plan is you got to communicate that plan. So who's your support system? Is it your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend, kids, parents, whoever it is? Communicate your goal to them. What are you going after? Tell them, are you going after the Tesla? I am, right? I am 100%. Are you going after the 150 grand in cash prizes? Are you going after a promotion? Are you trying to prove something to yourself? Are you trying to prove something to somebody else? Communicate your goal. Okay. So they know why they're supporting you, and tell them, hey, listen, on the other end of this journey, after the 31 days of March, this is what we're going to do. All right. This is what we're going to do if I hit my goal or if I don't hit my goal. I just need your support 100%. Do I have that? Manage agreements with your loved ones too, just like we're told to manage agreements in this business with our agents. Okay. So tell them what's in it for them. Now schedule it. Plan your month out. If you haven't done this already, you got to do it ASAP. Plan out your month, plan out your days, plan out your weeks, plan out your hours. Utilize the schedules that you have on your phones. Utilize Google Calendar. Okay. Utilize the alerts, the reminders in those calendars, and make sure when it comes time to work, turn on Do Not Disturb. Commit to the hours that you're going to work during the month. So how many hours are you going to work a week? Just commit to it. Okay. So yeah, set up the schedule, reduce distractions. That's how you do it. Turn on the Do Not Disturb. Stay disciplined throughout the entire month. Much easier said than done, guys. I understand completely. It's not fun doing things you don't want to do, especially when they're not going your way. It's not fun. I get it. But discipline will take you places motivation can't. All right. Motivation can't take you places that discipline will. All right. So dedicate a specific number of hours each week. And when you're doing activities specifically correlated to you obtaining this goal, because if your goal is big, guys, it should scare you a little bit. So make sure that when you're going to work, you're doing the work. Just because Impact is open doesn't mean you're working. Just because you're on Zoom doesn't mean you're working. Right? Utilize work efficiency. So what I do is when I'm calling, I'm 3 dials or 3 rings, hanging up, no answer, three rings, next. I'm quick with it, guys. I'm quick with it. That's how the only way I'm going to be able to do it with only one booker right now. I'm working on getting more, but I know I'm going to have to make at least 1,400 calls a week in order to hit this. It's a big number. It's kind of scary, but it should scare you. Your goals should scare you. If they don't, you're not thinking big enough. So don't fool yourself, right? You're only lying to yourself. If you're telling your manager you're making 200 calls and you're not, who are you lying to, really, right? It's like if this business was a pizza shop and you think about it, like if you're in business at a pizzeria, your job is to produce pizzas and sell them as quick as possible. So when you're behind the counter, are you going to act busy? Are you going to pretend to be busy? Are you going to look busy? Are you going to be ferociously making pies, get them out the door because your livelihood depends on it? It's the same shit with this business, guys. It's the exact same thing. All right. You are a business owner. Your livelihood depends on your activity during the hours that you're working. So once you have that, you got to have a conversation with yourself. Are you willing to work the hours that you're committing to? The toughest conversation is the one that we have with ourselves, right? But be truthful to yourself. After you have your goal, now you have a plan, you got to believe in it. Even if it scares you, you have to believe in it, guys. When Gigs and Act came to me and they told me 75 grand for October, it scared me. I was like, whoa, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, but I believed that I could. I really, really did. Even though it scared me, it took some convincing myself, but I did it. And, I didn't hit the 75, but I did do pretty well in October, obviously. So if you don't believe in the goal, you're never going to start, let alone keep going when the shit hits the fan, because it's inevitably going to happen, guys. You're going to have bad days throughout the month. You're going to have bad days throughout the course of your life. How do you respond to it is everything. Okay. But guys, this is going to hurt some people maybe, but this is the truth. At least what I found. Nobody's going to believe in you until you believe in yourself, not your mom, not your dad, not nobody. All right. You gotta give them a reason for them to believe in you. They'll tell you that they believe in you, but deep down, if you don't believe in yourself, why would they believe in you? Why should you expect somebody to believe in you if you don't have it here? Okay. So just belief. I mean, if you have a belief, guys, it's huge. And if you can commit to that plan, that goal, and have that belief, you'd be surprised what you can do. Now it comes time to execute though. So the goal is laid out. The plan is laid out. The vision, the belief, it's clear. Okay. Now it's time to execute. It's time to get to work, guys. This is pretty straightforward. Just follow your schedule. Work the hours you said you were going to work. Review your goals daily. Reevaluate each day. How many presentations did you make? Are you ahead or behind your goal? How many calls did you make ahead or below? Right? How many referrals did you gather? Guys, newsflash, you ain't going to hit your goal if you're not gathering massive amounts of referrals. So make it a habit that you're gathering a minimum of 3 per presentation. All right, guys, if you stick to these 4 things, hopefully it'll help. That's really all I got. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak to all of you.
Wow. Jared, that was freaking amazing. I
Don't
hope that
go
everybody-
anywhere yet. That was
Go,
amazing.
Jared!
David. Don't go anywhere yet. That was amazing. Before we close out, nothing he said was out of a book that he read. It's from what he actually lives, breathes, and does. And for that, Jared, we are, every one of us, incredibly grateful that you spoke with us, because it comes from your heart. It comes from what you actually do. I know this for myself and many others. I told myself I would be successful thousands of times before I actually was. And this is what Jared keeps telling himself. I'm not sure I'm going to get that 75, but what did he get? A record-breaking 50,000. That goal scared the shit out of him, but look at where he landed. A record month. So let's all go after things like Jared is, big stuff that scares us. Thank you so much, Jared. One more time, give it up for our own Jared Guglielmino. Love you, Jared. Let's go get it, gang. Game on.